Whew. Jack, wiping the sweat.
Yeah.
Wiping the sweat after a long pod.
Cooking in that sweatshirt.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to rep the Lions, though, and I feel like I've worn like my Lions t-shirt recently for the fantasy draft, so I switched it up. I wanted to wear, I have a white hoodie that says Grit on it.
Yes.
And I donated that during the postseason last year. I was sprinkling the merchandise around the family and friends.
Right.
Threw it on today, and it had a little yellow stain on it.
Oh.
Not good.
Mustard?
I don't think it was a little bit more... It wasn't mustard. Mustard's a distinct stain. You know a mustard stain when you see one. It was not a mustard stain. Potentially...
Gatorade?
I don't know. Gatorade. Could have been makeup. I don't know what it was. But there was a little stain, so I don't like wearing stained clothes. Had to abort. Went with the old...
I like it.
Salute for Soldiers one.
Love that.
What it is, but... Yeah, so repping the boys, sweating it out.
Cooking.
But it's NFL season, and I'm excited.
Yes.
What can I say?
Not be?
I know. So, big pod today, fun pod today. Trey Flood, Poetic.
Yes.
Poetic.
Absolutely.
Poetic, packed action. Some PPA this evening, and then we just pied the rest of the way. And it was a lot of fun. It truly, sports are great.
Yeah, no, this is a good podcast.
I had to summarize this pod in one sentence, just sports are great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Top to
well
bottom.
said.
So enjoy it, kick back, relax, and enjoy. This is the Pipe It Up podcast, and cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pipe It Up podcast, the official podcast of MLB Wiffle Ball. We are here, Jack and I, in studio checking in alongside Trey Flood, who is joining us from his high school, I believe, tonight. After a soccer game victory, I believe.
That is correct, Tom. I'm here at my high school. Just won our soccer game. Got a lot of stuff going on. It's just the startup of the school year, so I'd say life's going pretty well. Senior year, can't complain.
Look at that.
Gotta love a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
What position are you playing in soccer?
I'm an outside midfielder, so I play left midfield.
So is that like a Neymar?
I don't follow soccer enough to know who plays outside. I wish I did, but
Neither do I. That was the only soccer player I knew, so I took a chance.
For listeners who don't follow soccer closely, are you in a position to be scoring goals?
Not really. Not really, to be honest. Maybe like I've scored one every year, and I just scored one today. And that was my first of the year.
All right.
So we played maybe eight, 9 games. So
And you're a senior now, Trey? Is that what you said?
I am. That's correct.
Big man on campus. That means the hosts are getting old when Trey's a senior in high school.
Yeah, wow. That made me feel old.
That made me feel old as well. Well, enjoy it. Senior year's a blast. And I guess to bring it back to wiffle ball, congrats on a great series. Electric, Poetic, walk-off in Vermont. That was a special moment, Trey. Jack and I were just talking about it, actually, how the whole video, like many different moments throughout the video were like truly emotional. I think that was definitely one of them. Walk us through it. You hit in that game for Bennett. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, that's correct. I took Bennett's spot in that game.
Was Bennett actually salty about not playing at Wrigley, or was that all played up for the video?
I'm going to be honest, Tom. He was a little salty out there. And it's funny to see Benny angry like that because he just turns like this little switch in his mind where he just he gets a little funny with it. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but he's just a goofy guy. And when he gets angry, it's kind of funny to me. Like, it shouldn't be funny, but if you know Benny or if you've ever witnessed anything Benny has done, him getting angry is probably one of the funniest things I've seen. Like, it's just good stuff. So he was definitely a little upset about the whole thing, but overall, I think how the series went, he was more excited with us winning than playing there.
Do you think that actually might have impacted Benny a little bit negatively because he didn't have a great series, and that's not Benny said that himself. So, do you think that actually impacted the way he played out there?
I mean, I would not like to say that had an impact on the way he played. I would definitely say, and this is one thing I want to touch on, in game 2, I was pitching, obviously, but I wasn't hitting in that game. But I heard from both sides that it was very hard to see the ball in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only that game that what I heard from that it was hard to see the ball, which makes sense with the setup, the way the field is. Like, the ball kind of rises like right above that center field wall when it goes up in the air, especially on like drop balls. So that I don't doubt it. Like, it was that I would say that's the least lit field out of any of them. So that was probably one of the harder fields to see the ball. So I think that was more where his issue was coming from, especially in that game 2. And then game 1, I mean, he was putting together good ABs, but he did his best. I can't complain.
Jack, we need to play on some more poorly lit fields so we can blame our hitting on that.
I was gonna say I feel like it's challenging, like the way that the lights are set up. At least this was just me watching the video, because even when you have all the lights, you know, depending on the height of the lights themselves, the light can actually be almost like too much, where you're looking like into the light as the ball is being pitched. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that also was affecting you guys at all, but Trey, just walk us through that walk-off that you hit game 3. I mean, my first reaction to that was like, it's the Moneyball quote, right? When he says like, how can you not be romantic about baseball?
Yeah.
It was like, how can you not be romantic about wiffle ball?
It's a good plug. Good baseball plug.
Oh, thanks.
Big baseball guy over here.
Yeah, huge baseball guy. Thanks. Yeah, that was like my first thought. So I guess just walk us through that moment, you know, that pitch and just what that felt like.
Oh, the whole thing was like just incredible. Like I was lucky enough to have my parents out there with me, or at least my mom was out there with me. And
that's sweet.
Like immediately after the game, I was like, "Mom, that was like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me." Like I've been able to do some cool things in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. But that was definitely one of the coolest things that's ever happened. I mean, in front of a good crowd out there, a loud crowd, an excited crowd, like just that atmosphere. And our Field of Dreams is my favorite movie as well, like of all time.
Oh,
so
Trey.
that even just adds to it.
The cherry on top.
That really is.
That was definitely a special moment. But I'll take you kind of through, like, from the start of the game. I thought I was seeing Jeremy pretty well. It's not going to show it on video, obviously, because I went like 0 for 3, I think, with 3 strikeouts. But first pitch, I believe Jeremy threw me. I hit like a kind of a ball like that, but way far left of the foul. There's no foul poles there, but left of the line. And I thought I was seeing him well. Like I was hitting a couple foul balls, and I thought I was seeing it fine. I thought the ball was actually easier to see than any other field I've played on before in wiffle ball, with that like dark setup. The light was actually dimmed in center field. I don't know if you can see that on the video.
I didn't
but
notice
the
that.
center field light was dim, so it was like not an issue at all. And then those like corn stalks you can kind of see it in the video, but they're a good 10 feet tall.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And yeah, so I thought I was seeing Jeremy well the entire game. And then finally I was like, it was 12:15, whatever time it was, late at night. And I was like, I'm not going to be here all night. Like I said to myself, like, I'm already so tired. We had been there all day, and it was a great event, but it's definitely tiring. That's for sure. We had been there all day to begin with. And I was like, we're not going to 2 a.m. We're not going to 3 a.m. And I was like, someone's got to end it. And if it's not me, it's going to be someone else. And even if it didn't go our way, I just had a feeling that something was going to happen. Like, and I honestly thought Jonah might have been the one to do it again. I thought he was seeing the ball pretty well all day. But I don't know. Jeremy threw me a screw drop, and I didn't have too much screw or drop. It was a ball that was down the middle, and I took advantage of it. That's for sure. And I sent it pretty far. I'd say it's probably the farthest home run I've ever hit in wiffle ball. Like it was. Yeah, it was pretty far.
That was a bomb.
You pieced it. You pieced it. You can say it.
And you have to, because those fields are already big as it is, and you cleared it with ease.
Yeah.
And Trey, the cool thing, and I guess now I'm thinking it goes both ways a little bit, because you talked about how like a special moment that was in your life, and it's awesome that you have that, you know, on video. There's multiple angles of it that you can watch back for the rest of your life. But honestly, I say this, I think, like twice a year, because there's new moments that come, and then it's the recency bias of it all. But that sequence of photos of your teammates like reacting to the home run and then you coming home is like so good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so good. I don't know who the photographer was out there. Trey, do you know? Was it someone in your family, or was it?
I believe the pictures were from Ryan.
Okay, so our usual.
Yes.
Yeah. So shout out to Ryan. He's done a great job this year. I know you guys have all been seeing them on Instagram all year long. So that's cool. He made the trip, and those photos are priceless.
They were awesome.
They're so good.
The video reaction too of the bench was so cool. Trey, you mentioned the crowd too. How did that crowd? I mean, unbelievable that there were still that many people left that late. just throughout the day, like how did the crowd this year compare to last year when you guys went there?
Oh, it's a way different feeling. So, well, yeah, we went back there 2 years ago against the Cobras.
2 years ago.
And we went there, and it was definitely super fun, like just seeing all the fields. We got to meet like all the people involved with it, but we actually were not part of like, because we were there for their actual tournament as well that they run for T1D, as you probably saw in the video.
Yep.
And then so we weren't actually there for that tournament when we went in 2022. We were just there on our own 2 days, how I think we were there for 2 days, but that was definitely way different. Because we were there when we did it in 2022, we were there for maybe good 4 hours, 5 hours. It was a long series, but we were just there playing our series and then we were done. Where on this year, we were there, I believe 10 a.m. there till 12 p.m. And it was a blast. I mean, tons of wiffle ball games, amazing fields, and just the entire environment is just incredible. And Jeff, who runs it, like I just want to give a huge shout out to him. Like he does such a good job with everything. He makes everyone feel welcomed. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. Part of that tournament you guys are playing in with Slam T1D, I believe, I had to bring this up. Mason Barnaby, the kid who flew all the way from Europe, I forget if it was London or wherever. Do you remember?
I believe it was London, yeah.
London.
Yeah, it was London.
How cool was that to have him as a part of your guys' squad? And for the record, the kid was hitting the ball.
Oh, yeah, he was putting him in play.
He was putting him in play.
I think Tom and I could both learn a few things
I think
from
so.
him.
I think so. And I think if I had that accent, I'd be a better man as well.
I think so, too. Too.
That was super cool to see. And what was it like interacting with Mason and some of the other T1Ders as well at the event?
Like I said, I mean, everything that happens there is just unreal. Like the fact that we were able to fly out a kid like Mason, who is also type 1 diabetic, and we're able to help him, like that just means so much to me. Like it really made me tear up during Jeff's speech when he was talking about him. I mean, you wouldn't see it. I had sunglasses on, but
smart,
trying to hide it.
Strategic.
But
well played.
Strategic.
It's definitely very emotional for me, and I know it was emotional for Jimmy too. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's just a regular kid, just a regular kid going through it, and we understand that, and we're here to help. And I just think like Mason is way beyond type 1 diabetes. He's the most like hilarious kid I've ever met in my life. His accent is something straight out of a movie. It was hilarious. The entire like games that we were doing in the tournament, he was like yelling at our guys, like yelling at the other team, and like in a joking way, but it was just fun. Hilarious.
He
was cool. Like, come on, like with Cheatham, he's like, come on, put it right here, and he was like, put a motion in the middle of the zone to throw a strike because Cheatham was having some struggles.
Of course,
awesome.
It seems like Chris was getting trolled out there by many folks then, because he was getting trolled at Little Field of Dreams at the end. I saw.
Chris was having a rough time with the fans. I would say there was a couple people trolling him, but he's a great guy, and yeah, he can take it.
He's a great guy. He can. He's like me. He'll make fun of himself too and has a good time with it.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Well, Trey, that was awesome. Congratulations on one of the cooler moments of the season for sure, if not the coolest. And again, cherish that. Hold on to that feeling.
Yeah.
And run with that sucker.
Don't let it go.
Don't let it go. Carry that with you in life. And I got to say, you guys clinched the 1 seed. Congrats on that, too. So I think you're the second person to hit a home run to conclude the mini MLB series to clinch the 1 seed, because Andy did the same thing at Fenway, which is pretty ironic, I'd say.
I got to just say, going back to like, how can you not be romantic about wiffle ball? I would really just extend that to like sports in general.
Oh, for sure.
Like this video was to me just such a great reminder. We put so much time and like thought and effort into playing sports, watching sports. And some people might think that's a silly thing to do, like a silly thing to put your time into. But for me personally, like a avid sports fan, it's stuff like this that just shows like there's just nothing like sports. Like there's nothing that can recreate that feeling that Trey had,
for sure.
that Mason had, and like to capture that all in one video, I just thought was so cool. So
it was remarkable. But Trey, we'll get into that more, Jack, when we let Trey go. I know he's a time crunch here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you real quick, heading into the playoffs as the 1 seed, you were a part of the 2022 team that won it all. How do you stack these two teams up against each other, and do you think that you can get your second ring here with the squad?
It's definitely going to be no easy feat. I mean, we know all teams, because there's still a chance the Gators would be able to make it. We know all teams have a good shot, and we understand that, and we just know that we have to trust ourselves, trust our teammates on the field, and work hard, and we should be able to get wins.
Cool. All right, well, Trey, we'll let you go here. I know you got a busy evening. Congrats on the soccer win. But what a moment for Trey. A round of applause for Trey in the comments. Let him hear it. And let everybody hear it that was at the event, from all the different T1Ders, Jimmy Norb, Trey Flood and beyond, Mason, Jeff, everybody who was a part of it. It was just so cool. Kyle Schultz, like a part. Everybody who made this happen.
Yeah.
So cool.
Awesome. So credit to everyone.
Credit to everybody. Trey, go enjoy your evening. You senior stud. And one day maybe I'll be as cool as you.
All right. Sounds good, Tom.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Thanks, Trey. Oh, Trey, what a kid. Great guy. So happy for him because that was so cool. And Trey's the nicest guy ever. And he's young. You know, that's when you want to have those awesome moments, because those stick with you forever.
They do.
Like, I mean, it's cool to have it when you're our age too. We're not that old. But when you're, teenager still, like, that's stuff you dream of.
They're the ones that's what keeps you coming back. Like, there's still, this is going to make me sound old and corny maybe, but there are still literally specific plays and events that happened, for example, like in my youth football, that like I can picture what happened in like the play so perfectly, like such like good memories, bad memories, everything. And that's kind of what I was saying about sports, is it's just like, there's just something about it that there's not really anything else in our world that can create those emotions, like those highs and those lows, and bring people together. I think that's what's so evident in this video. Like having a community of people who suffer from, some of the same ailments, yet can unite together and like, bring that camaraderie around something as simple as a plastic bat and ball. Like that's what I just think so cool about it.
Yeah, that's well said. And it's funny you interjected the conversation with that, because I was going to have that conversation with you like after Trey got off the phone.
Yeah. A little bit preemptive.
No. It was perfect. We were both itching to get that conversation going, I think, because it's like, I think I've been probably on record saying how like my passion for sports was so big when I was younger. It's kind of dwindled a little bit, but obviously like I'm still a big Lions fan. Like I still love playing sports. And again, like I mentioned, Trey being 17, 18, however old he is. And like when I won that World Series at the Mallards, I was the same age as him right now, senior in high school. And like I still recall like that day as like one of my favorite days of like of that time period of my life. Like it was just such a cool thing to experience, like with my friend group, that like we came back and like it's a small thing, but it's just cool. And I think for many different reasons, for like a personal reason as a player or even as a fan, like experiencing a win is great, and experiencing a loss is also like a good, you wear that on your sleeve and you keep going, type thing. And sports can definitely bring people together. As silly as it is, it's a game, right? Yeah. But me and my current roommates were like cracking up and super cheery on Friday because our mailman like dropped off the mail and he's wearing a Lions hat, a Amon-Ra St. Brown jersey. We're like, let's go, baby. Like Sunday's game day. Like it just brings people together. And it's such a silly, like it really is silly if you think about it. It's a game, right? Yeah. It's designed for pure entertainment. Yeah. But the storylines and the camaraderie and the brotherhood that forms amongst teams, amongst fan bases, and the emotions, for better or for worse, that sports can invoke, you can't get anywhere else.
No, you really just can't. You can't.
And again, like I said, for better or for worse.
Right.
Like when the Lions lost last year in the playoffs, that sucked.
Yeah, it was
when
awful.
the Mallards lost to the Eagles, that sucked.
Yeah.
But then it makes you remember those wins, or that next win is just so much sweeter that it's almost like you have to have them.
Yeah.
For it to be a thing. Like it's what makes it great.
No, absolutely. I also saw someone running in a golf like jersey.
It's just so
going
cool.
out for their jog, and everyone was going by honking their horn.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It was awesome. I agree. Like for better or for worse, like just we'll use the Lions obviously as an example.
Yeah, it's easy for us.
But watching like the season recap last year, on YouTube, they have that little like Inside the Den series. I was literally like watching the highlights, remembering like where I watched that game, like how excited I was, like just that we were finally doing good. And then, you know, my wife and I were watching the receiver show, and we made it all the way to the last episode. And we hadn't watched the last episode. We took like a little break, and she's like, we should finish receiver. I'm like, I don't really want to watch it.
Yeah.
She's like, why do you want to watch it? I'm like, because we lost and it's going to make me feel bad. And like, it literally ruined my day. Like we watched the show and I was upset for like the rest of the night. And like you're saying, for better or for worse, I'm getting upset over something that's really not that impactful.
That's the funny thing about it all is like, none of it really matters, but it does.
But I think that there are just a lot of, you know, for kids and athletes, and as you grow up and develop, I think there's just so much that you can draw from sports.
That's what I was trying to
apply to, you know, life in terms of your career, your relationships, you know, your work ethic, just like everything. Like it's almost just like a microcosm of what life is. And it breaks it down into like very simple things when you're trying to focus on one sport, because life itself is very complicated, but the sport, when in comparison, is easy is simple, if that makes sense. But that's just why they're so great, man. I mean, that's why there's nothing like it.
It's tough to ignore them. It really is.
It is. I think like, I don't know. I'm just very, like you said, I'm so happy for Trey, because I had moments when I was his age where like times like that made a significant impact on like my confidence, my just my overall happiness, just like everything, you know? Yeah. So those moments are definitely ones that to be cherished. And it's awesome he could watch it whenever he wants. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
It's on video.
He's got it on YouTube.
Forever.
He's got pictures, and it's
again,
awesome.
like, say he doesn't hit a home run there or whatever, like it's not the end of the world, right? But the fact that he did and he executed in that moment, like he can carry that with him. Like I guarantee 10 years from now, he'll think back at that moment and like watch that video and get full goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
It's just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It's the coolest thing. So good for you, Trey. If I could take my headset off and tip my cap, I would, but just so cool. I think a lot of the comments in the video, Jack, reflected what we're talking about, just how like poetic it was, not just for Trey, but the camaraderie of the event, and everything was just really special. Yeah. There was a lot of props to Kyle for the production of it, and to Jeff for hosting. Like there was a lot of wholesome comments on this video. The comment I selected for the comment of the week is not that, but there's no shortage of that in the comments if you want to get some of that. Okay. So keep that in mind. But this one I caught pretty quick. It was pretty high up and it was funny. And it's the comment of the week this week. It says, being now needing to rely on Drew and the Cobras sweeping the Mallards is hilarious. Yes, it's true. In order for the Gators to make the postseason, the Mallards cannot win a single game because the Mallards hold the tiebreaker against the Gators. So if the Cobras were to sweep the Mallards would be 6-9, the Gators would be 7-8, and the Gators would go to the NLDS instead of the Mallards. So that's the situation right now in the NL. Is one of those two squads will miss.
Gotta say, I don't really like the Gators odds. Obviously, I did want to give a shout out. Former Magic player Jay Chatty showing out for the squad. Unbelievable series. I mean, the guy was just leaving it all out there for his squad. Couldn't ask much more from him. So shout out Chatty, play well. Obviously, some comments made around Jeremy Adams for Rookie of the Year. I feel like he's made a pretty darn good case. It's going to be tough to vote a different way, I think, for a lot of people. Considering
the dual threat, Ash has had some great moments for the Cobras, but Jeremy's doing it on both sides of the ball. Yes. To me, it's kind of Patrick Ballman's a great player, but he just didn't have the season that he wanted to. And Jeremy, I wouldn't say he was like terrific and blew people's minds like Grant Miller and RJ did last year, but he's had a great season.
He has.
And he walked into productive. Yeah, he walked into a franchise that didn't have a lot going for it at all, and he's young. Grant is older and was like your guys' leader and really helped RJ. Yep. I think Jeremy and Sawyer's young too. They kind of walked into a team that was like guys that are our age, have been doing it for a while. They've already won in this league. Yep. Like not a whole lot for them to like prove. I guess Jason hasn't won yet, but it was just a unique team to walk into. And it was so dull and grim.
Yeah.
That it's impressive, and I want to give props to the Gators. Of course, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat the Cobras, guys. I'm not letting the Gators get in the playoffs. We have some unfinished business here at the Midwest Mallards organization, but I mean this when I say it, truly, like, they competed from game 1 to game 15 this year, and it didn't shock me, but it did surprise me. You know, they were in our series. They were in the D-back series. They beat the Wildcats. Eagles, I don't remember quite as much. That was early in the year, but they were a team that competed and were not an easy win for anybody. And Sawyer had to become an ace. He did that.
Yeah.
Jeremy was a great job at number 2. He was their leadoff hitter. Like, Jason stepped up. Chris had a little bit of an improvement this year. It was not, you know, a superstar campaign by any means, but it was a massive step in the right direction to the point where they are a competitive team that is right there for the postseason now in a very competitive league, right? Everyone in the NL is good.
I mean, bottom line is you want to see them compete. And we were saying, you know, several podcasts ago, probably a team you wouldn't love to see in the playoffs just because of the danger that, you know, the how good Sawyer can be if he gets a ball that he likes. It's you're screwed. I mean, you're pun intended, you're screwed. Like that little screw drop ball. Like there's no way you're hitting that. It's just you're not. So you basically have to hope that he doesn't like the ball and he's walking people. And you can get a couple hits in there. So yeah, I think if you're a Gators fan, you're obviously crossing your fingers. I wouldn't, you know, expect to make the playoffs at this point, but I think you have a lot to look forward to going into next season. And I think this season was overall a success for the Gators organization in terms of just bringing them back into the competitive landscape, you know, fighting for that spot. Ultimately, there's got to be one team that misses. So
yeah, I mean, all hope is not lost, right? Gators fans, I'm sure if you're a big Gators fan out there, if you're a Gators player, I know you're holding your breath.
It would be really cool. No, I'm sorry, but it would be kind of cool.
I have confidence we can get one. But just think about how easily the tides could have turned, right? Let's go back to the slate 1. Jorgensen robs a home run to win us that last game.
Yep.
Where it would have been an Adams walk-off. So that gives us a 2-1 advantage, gives us the tiebreaker and an extra game against them. In this series, they had the D-backs in the ropes in game 1, and then you walk in a run, and then Jonah gets the hit.
Yeah.
Like, they could have won that series. They could have won our series. I mean, they were right there, and I think that's the next step they got to take next year is how do we win those close games and execute a couple more times because a couple different things go their way this year. They execute in a couple more moments. You're looking at, you know, at least 8-7, if not 9-6, 10-5 type things. So, all in all, I just want to say good season to the Gators. I'm gonna knock you out. We're gonna get one. Jordan's too good to not get one. So, sorry to break hearts, but it's inevitable, guys. We're gonna do it.
I love the confidence.
I know, but I was texting my guys, like, so we obviously heard about the series and we hadn't played it, and like we just need one. I'm like, guys, don't take the Cobras lightly. They're a good team, right? Like we gotta focus. So that was what I really tried to instill a little behind the scenes before the series is like, let's take this like we need to win all 3. You know? Because I know my team, and if we get down 1-0, we're going to be playing nervous, and I don't want that. Let's go out there and win the first game and take care of business, and then we can let off the gas if we need to.
Yep.
So, you mentioned Adams, Chadwick, both had great days.
Yeah.
Being pretty good overall. I wanted to ask you quickly about Little Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Looks very well lit, first of all. And Chadwick got one out of there, which is cool to see as well.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of Oppo Chatty home runs. Like I feel like I haven't seen him do that a lot. I feel like he typically tends to pull it or take it center, but yeah, great. I mean, all those fields are just like unbelievable. Like they're so cool. Really jealous of the guys that got to play. We should have asked Trey about the pants. I know we bring up the pants every year, but I think it's worth bringing up.
Big uniform guy over there.
I feel like I would die in those pants.
Oh, just being uncomfortable?
I would just pour sweat in those pants.
I think I probably had this exact same argument with you in the past, Jack, that it's like you played football.
Yeah.
You wore pants in football. You wore full pads in football. When you're playing a sport, it really doesn't. Yeah. You're sweating anyways, man.
Yeah.
I played baseball my whole life, and pants were never an issue. You know, it just kind of is what it is, and you sweat, and Oh, well.
Also, I just want to, we always give him his props on this podcast, but Jimmy Norp just continues to make plays that have just never happened before. The play that he made where he basically just told Jonah to pound sand and just grab the ball and tag the runner out by himself while sliding in front of him was like, I've never seen anyone do that. And yeah, it literally looked like a video game, like a video game animation where you just like slide in, and it was crazy. So we had the kickball in the All-Star game the one year. Hadn't seen that one before. We had, I don't even know what you call this. I don't even know what to call it. The slide into first or whatever he did to tag that runner. So yeah, that play was unbelievable. So good job, Jim.
Jim's a good athlete. He's smooth out there. I used to be that smooth out there too.
Jim in the post game, he's like, yeah, we're not the most talented, but we're gritty. And then he's like making plays like that. It's like, all right, come on.
I know. They're good. They're good.
No one's making plays like that.
Their chemistry's unmatched. They're goofy, like Trey said. And it is a cast of characters from, now you got Jimmy and Jonah who are from the same friend group, but like Pishka and Benny and Trey, they're all just a bunch of goofballs who are very good at the sport.
Yeah. And
a team that I don't want to play in the playoffs if we have to, but we got to go through them now. No choice.
Yep.
If we make it. So they're a good group of guys. Mm-hmm. That was probably a very fun trip. And we got a glimpse of it on the podcast, guys. Remember we did a pod where the Gators were all in their hotel room and we talked to them. You weren't a part of that, unfortunately, but
yeah, missed that one.
I'm sure it was a fun weekend, a long weekend, but a fun weekend. And again, shout out to Mason Barnaby for making the trip. And that'll be again another memory I'll have forever, probably,
for sure.
And just was special. How can you not be romantic about baseball? Jack, I wanted to pause now and give a quick shout out to Ice Shaker once again. Grab that bottle. As you guys recall, I think probably was this last year now when we got these
I think it was,
MLW ones?
Yep.
So I believe his name was Tyler, DM'd us and sent us these MLW water bottles here that I'm showing you in the camera. And now Tyler is back, and I think Ice Shaker has made licensed products. So I got an MSU water bottle in my hand. Jack has a Lions one. And yeah, if you guys want to get a cool water bottle supporting your teams, check out Ice Shaker. We'll put a link in the bio. I'll send it over to PB to include. And if you don't know who to support, choose this company because they're hooking us up, and we appreciate it, Tyler. So thank you for your support.
Thanks.
And go check out Ice Shaker and get yourself maybe an NFL bottle to start the year.
Yeah.
Support the squads. Week 1 in the books. And Tyler Jack also wrote us a note that I have not read yet.
Oh.
Let's see.
Handwritten note.
It says, fellas, I hope you enjoy the bottles. I'm loving both the main channel and Pipe It Up. I'm excited to hopefully see a Bangerang or an appearance of Random Bomb Tom. I'm trying, Tyler. Let me know if y'all need anything or more bottles. Good luck in the next slate, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler. The podcast has never been more desperate for a Bangerang.
Jack.
Oh.
Included here. Oh, he says, P.S. TC3 is taking down the Waffle House bet. He sent 4 bottles, a Michigan one, which Kyle Schultz has, Michigan State, he said, for me, Detroit is for you, extra Detroit, he said, in case someone else wants an extra. Who do we give the extra bottle to? It's a nice bottle.
It is a nice bottle.
But I am drinking. Oh no, I haven't drank out of this one yet.
Should we do a giveaway?
This could be a little giveaway.
Should we do a giveaway?
One Pride, Lions Nation.
One Pride.
All right, how are we gonna do this?
We got to come up with some sort of
some contest.
Some contest.
So for the record, I didn't drink out of this. Tag's still on it. And let's just say on this video on YouTube, I don't want to exclude the audio listeners though, but how about Instagram?
Okay.
Pipe It Up MLW. Give us a follow. Shoot us a DM, and send us your current favorite NFL player.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Love that.
And then I'll put all the names in random number generator, and I will pick a winner to send you guys this Lions bottle. How about
Let's go. Look at that.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Tyler. Let's get into fuzzy numbers now.
Yep.
Fuzzy. All right. Fuzzy numbers again is brought to you by our friends over at ShedBall. And guys, it's finally time to make your picks for ShedBall Season 3. The pick'em is now live at shedball.com. While they haven't released any content for Seasons 1 and 2 yet, you can still find a link to the detailed stats for those eager to dig into the numbers. The numbies. We love numbies.
Love numbies.
Make your picks today and track your results when Season 3 drops on YouTube later this year. Jack, we got to do our picks.
Yeah, we got to.
I'm going to do mine this evening.
Love it.
Set a reminder. Let you guys know who I'm picking. You can tail me if you want. You can fade me if you want, just like Fuzzy Frank.
Nice.
And if I win the $1,000, I'm not going to apologize.
Nope.
I'll take
sorry,
it to the
not
bank.
sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But all right, let's see what Fuzzy Frank has for us in store this week.
Thanks, gentlemen. That's right. You can go to ShedBall.com and play the Pick'em Challenge. No purchase necessary. Totally free to you. If you get all the picks right, that's $1,000. Now, we haven't released seasons 1 and 2 yet, so you'll have the stats from those seasons to make an informed prediction. And then once we release seasons 1 and 2, then you'll be able to watch season 3 unfold. So we'll be sure to notify you when those games are being released so you can track your results. Anyway, I've got Fuzzy Frank on the line to give his prediction for this next game between the next series between the Magic and the Cats.
Of course. Another series prediction in the bag. D-backs over Gators, just like I said. Sure, Jonah Heath didn't have his Philly Tom moment, but that walk-off in Game 1, yeah, I'll take that. Now for the Magic versus Cats. 2-1 Magic with Walgate striking out 12-plus over the course of the series. And let's not forget the real story. I cut through all that waffle standings math last episode. Here's what you need to know. Jack wins. Tom's eating waffles. And maybe we'll get another strikeout when Tom starts seeing a stack of syrup-drenched carbs heading his way.
Thanks, Frank. Appreciate your time. Back to you guys at Pipe It Up.
Frank, you might not be wrong. The odds are stacked against me here. But Jack, last week, because there was no double play, I did gain a point on you.
Yes, you did.
I'm only down by 1.
Yes, you did.
The score is now 23-22. Agner leads. So, again, still a tough battle because the odds are if we predict right and there's no double plays, Jack's going to gain a point on me. But it ain't over.
Yeah, it's not over.
I can still tie this thing. I can still win.
I
this
like
thing,
that Frank's on my side, though, because he has been doing a good job this year at predicting everything. His track record, his percentage has been good. So if he's got his money on me, that gives me a lot of confidence going into this Waffle House bet.
I have my money on you as well, just in this series.
Yeah,
not just the Waffle House bet.
The series as well.
Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely, if we want to get into the tailing and the fading,
I'm tailing it.
I'm gonna tail him as well. I mean,
I think the Magic
like
are back. I think the Magic are back. Not maybe as back as last year quite yet, but that was a big momentum swing in the AL for the Magic. Kind of a must-win they had in Chicago. They took care of business on the big stage. It was impressive.
Yeah.
And so I'm going with you guys. I'm going to say 2-1 Magic. It'll put the Cats likely out of the postseason, but that's just the way I see it going down. Yeah,
I'm also gonna tail the 12 plus strikeouts. I think that's for sure for RJ.
But Jack,
I will say that the
RJ typically starts slow sometimes.
He does start slow.
Especially later in the year, you never know.
You never know. I'm gonna tail it though.
Okay.
I will say, we're gonna be getting the absolute best from a Wildcats team that's really fighting for their life, kind of like the Gators were, in this last series.
Jack. It's the intangibles.
It really is. It really is. They're going to be playing with everything they got. You can never really count out the vet Kyle Schultz himself. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. I'm definitely gonna tail the 2-1. I like our chances. I think we've matched up well against the Wildcats in the past. We're kind of catching them, I think, in an off year. So I like our chances here.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of grit and a lot of heart out there from the Cats for sure as they try to claw their way back into the postseason picture.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, I said RJ starts slow. That was kind of an inaccurate thing to say. Out of state, he starts slow. At the Meadows, he's been very good.
Yes.
Back at the Meadows.
This one is at the Meadows.
So, probably shouldn't bet against RJ. We'll see if PB can finish strong along with Kyle Schultz and co. But should be a good one.
Yeah.
Slate 5's off to a good start.
Yep.
Love this time of the year on the channel. It's always fun to watch, fun to follow along. And like behind the scenes too, the camaraderie gets really fun amongst everybody. Like I always get phone calls about what happened in these type like important games where there's playoffs implications on the line, which is a lot of fun. So great time. Couldn't be better, honestly, right now in the sports world. You got MLB in the heart of it, postseason race. NFL just kicked off with football playoffs. This is my favorite time of the year for sports.
Best time of the year.
For sure.
Yep.
Even our Spartans won this week, guys. It's great.
Yeah.
Aiden Childs.
That was amazing.
Get him on your radar.
We were like, what, like
Gunslinger.
8.5 point
Big
underdogs?
Big dogs.
Big dogs.
Came back.
Big dogs eat.
Won the game. So exciting. Sports are the best. What else can I say? They can be the worst, but they can also be the best. It's the truth.
Did you have any segments for us today?
You got a whiff you want to share?
I got a whiff. Do we have time?
Yeah, of course we got time, Jack.
We have time?
Yeah.
Okay. So exciting news for the Pipe It Up listeners. My wife and I bought a house. We closed on a house, officially a homeowner. So I can walk into Home Depot and feel like I actually belong there.
But you can't ask for help.
No, you can.
No, you can't.
Why not?
You haven't heard that big debate about dudes not wanting to ask for help in Home Depot?
Oh, I'm not that guy.
There's like a meme online saying like, if I have to walk into Home Depot and ask for help, I'm just going to walk out and leave. Like, I'm not going to ask anybody where anything is. I'm not that guy either. But
I'm not that guy.
That's a thing on the internet.
See, and I'll get into this, but I'm the guy where I don't want to spend any longer in the store than I have to. So if someone helping me is going to get me out of that store faster, I'm going to take that help.
I'm an efficiency guy.
But I would say, so this this segment for me might just become like Jack's homeowner.
Yeah, this could be a recurring thing.
This could be like a recurring thing because I have a feeling this is going to happen a lot.
I like this.
But so this was the first sort of like welcome to home ownership. You know, one of the things we wanted to do when we were, bought the house was replace the toilet seat. Kind of weird, just someone else's toilet seat.
Yeah.
Just put a new one on there. So, not even really thinking like what color the toilet was because we didn't really think it was like looking at it. We didn't think it was any other color. Go to Home Depot, buy a toilet seat that we thought was a standard toilet seat. It was just white. Came back. Toilet's not white. It's this kind of almost like this bone color.
Yep.
I would say like kind of like this tile almost.
Yep.
So take it back. Go back to Home Depot. Now we're looking at the picture that we've taken of the toilet and are questioning what the actual size of the toilet is, because if you guys ever shop for toilet seats, there's what's called like an elongated toilet seat and then like a round toilet seat. So they're different shapes and different sizes.
Different kind of cans.
Mm-hmm. So I was pretty confident after buying the first one that the style, if you will, or size that we needed was round. However, looking at the picture, I started to second guess myself.
That's the worst. I hate that.
And ended up walking out of the store with an elongated, bone-colored toilet seat. And it took about 2 seconds after getting into the house to realize that was not the size that was needed. So now I'm going back to Home Depot. So now it's the third trip to Home Depot. I finally get the right color. I get the right size. I actually didn't go back that same day because it was late at that point. But went back the next day to actually change out the toilet seat and realized I don't have a wrench. I don't have the tool that I need to take the toilet seat off. Mm-hmm. So I went back to Home Depot for the fourth time. So for what seems to be a relatively minor task that should not really take that long, took me 4 Home Depot trips, and probably cost me, realistically 2.5 to 3 hours of my life that I won't.
Are you at least close to the Home Depot or not really?
That is the one silver lining, is that this Home Depot is 1.5 miles from our house.
Beautiful.
So if I miss something or, forget something, it's not that big of a deal to run back. And that was the one positive thing about it.
That's nice.
But
by the way, Jack, I knew that the color thing, the bone color, my parents had the same battle because that's what their appliances were. The correct term there, I believe, is bisque. Bisque appliances, I believe, is the proper color. I would call it beige.
Okay.
But I remember my mom saying bisque a lot. So that's what she referred to it as, at least. And there is a difference between white and bisque.
But I'm very excited. And I think this could almost be like a new segment. It's going to be kind of Wiff. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Clear the throat. Woo. Use that ice shaker bottle and clear the throat a little bit.
Yeah, man, these ice shaker bottles they come in handy.
Yep. Might need one.
What I was going to say is it's going to be like Whiff of the Week adjacent probably, but I'm sure there's going to be some really high moments too.
We need a good alliteration segment name like Jack something.
Something about owning a home or I don't know, but I just know for a fact that I'm going to have plenty of stories to tell you guys already about this process. It's just like an exciting new chapter that's going to come with, just like sports, highs and lows for sure. So
yeah, I don't know if I have a great whiff I want to share. I mean, there's always whiffs, right? If I had to recall one in particular, I'm trying to think. I had a major win. If you want me to share a win,
let's do the win. Let's do the win of the week.
This is a little bit childish and almost a little bit embarrassing, but it's when you hear the context. No, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
But I'm someone who I don't like free handouts. I'm not good at getting gifts. Like I always feel awkward, and I love to give gifts, but I just feel weird like asking for things or taking things and things of that nature. So for context, I went to a thing on Thursday evening of this past week for the Lions season ticket holders, like an open house at Ford Field. And they gave you some freebies, and you could meet your season ticket holder, like your sales rep, and, just chat with people. So like I went and got, I think 2 free bobbleheads. I got a poster. I got like a commemorative popcorn bowl and a soda cup. I got a commemorative coin from last season.
Nice.
I think that was it. And they had stuff in the Lions store. The Lions supply store was on sale a little bit, not a huge discount, but a little bit for the season ticket holders. So I was at my grandma's on Sunday, wonderful woman, and she had just gotten a total knee replacement. So she's couch ridden.
Yep.
So I've been visiting her pretty frequently, and she's asking about my week.
Good
so I was
man.
telling her this story about how I went to the Ford Field on Thursday. And I was like, yeah, I was in there, and it was packed. It was awesome. Everybody's so excited for the season. A lot of buzz this year compared to last year. And I was like, she's like, oh, what'd you get? So I told her what I told you. And I was like, yeah, the store was open too. And I want a new jersey so bad. They're so cool. But I was like, $150 even on sale is just so much. So we had that conversation. And then I had stopped to get her groceries before I'd gotten there. So then she's like, oh, let me write you a check for the groceries. And before you leave, I was like, yeah, it sounds good. So I told her how much it was. And then she hands me a check for $150. And I was like, what's this? She's like, get yourself a Lions jersey.
Nice.
Okay, thank you. At first I was like, no, you serious? No, but it's like, okay, I'll get one.
All right.
So now I gotta get one. I could probably use that money for something else, but I gotta get it.
All right, who are you going to go? Who are you going to go with?
So here's what I said. I texted my coworker who's a big Jameson Williams fan and all my friends, and I said, I got this jersey money. I was like, if he scores, I'm buying J-Mo immediately. So as soon as he scored, sent it immediately. So it's J-Mo. It was always awesome. J-Mo. And thank you, Grandma. And thanks to all the grandmas out there. You guys are all great. So that was a big win.
Shout out grandmas.
Again, I don't like the free handout stuff, but it's hard to say no to
a huge win.
87-year-old woman.
I love that.
Writing you a check. So
good segment.
Thanks, Grandma. I appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. Thanks to Trey. Thanks to everybody at Slam T1D. Jeff, if you guys watched that YouTube video and enjoyed it, slamt1d.org is where you can donate if you wanted to contribute to that event next year to the organization in the future. I'm sure Jeff and company and even us would appreciate it alongside Trey and Jimmy and those who are affected by the disease. So
absolutely.
Good pod. A lot of fun. Hope you guys all enjoyed the football games this week and the wiffle ball. We got more good stuff coming next week, so make sure you guys don't miss out. And this Friday, it is going to be Magic versus the Cats. So thank you all for listening so much. Fun fact, Jimmy Norp loves a hot dog between holes 9 and 10. And we will see you all next week.